think the biggest way that the GCC has affected me is the understanding that the Great Commission is not an option. It's a way of life that we've been called to, that every Christian has been called to not only know what they believe, but be prepared to share that in every situation. Understanding that there are millions of people around that are looking for the answer, and we've been given the answer, and have been called to share that with everyone that we see. And it's not just something that we should think about once in a while, but that should be at the forefront of our minds no matter where we are. And the GCC has both imparted that understanding to me and also prepared me to be willing to do that on a daily basis.
I think the biggest things that the GCC has done for me is really made me go back and think about what I do believe and kind of refresh myself in that so that I would be able to talk to other people, and also kind of kicked me along the way to get me out there and do things that I probably wouldn't have done if I wasn't, a member of this club.
The GCC has been a very positive thing in my life. Before the GCC started, honestly, I wouldn't have really used any opportunities to witness to people. I believed what I believed, and if the opportunity came up, I would talk to somebody if the topic came up. But since being a part of the GCC, it's given me a much bigger desire to actually seek the opportunities to bring up the gospel, to bring up the Lord in conversations. Before, I wouldn't have been confident enough. I would have been more afraid of what people would say. I would be afraid that I wouldn't have the answers. And even though I've been a part of the GCC for a while, I can testify that I still very often don't have the answers. I don't know what to say, and I have to just try to work my way through it. But now I'm not as afraid to do it, and I know that, even if I don't have the answers, I believe what I believe, and that whatever they say, even if I might not have the best answer for the time, it's not going to affect my faith, and I'm still giving it a try.
It's really helped me to get out and talk to people about the Lord, because if without a club and without other club members to be accountable to, I never would have done it.
At the fair that we did recently, or last year, I was talking to people, and one person specifically just asked me difficult questions, and in GCC we are kind of prepared, and they ask us difficult questions for us to think of how we can respond. And so with those questions, I learned how to respond faster when they asked me the questions. So I guess it's helped me just to think faster and to respond in a much better way.
I'd say it's caused me to be more sensitive to the Great Commission itself in situations that I otherwise might not have considered it. Causing more of a sense of urgency and awareness that there are issues in life that need to be heard from everybody that I might come in contact with, or anyone, I should say, and what the Lord might be doing in a particular individual at a particular time, at least trying to be sensitive to and aware of, hey, this might be an opportunity. Maybe the Lord wants to share something with them. And so more aware of seeds, or listening for cues that the person might be reaching or seeking the Lord.
It really inspired me to go and share the good news with people. I had a burden in my heart a little before the GCC to share with others. I never really tried hard enough. And when the GCC first started, and the teachings and all the inspiration that I got at those meetings really inspired me to do more. And then all the support you gave from all the rest of the members who are involved with the events and the activities that we do together really supports you and makes you want to go out. And then now, it's like when you go out in a public place and I see so many people, and it's like, how many of those actually know the Lord? There's such a burden in my heart when I see them, and it's almost like I have to share with them. I have to at least give them the track. I have to do something, because they might never hear about the Lord. And what if it's my responsibility to share with them? The GCC really imparted that in my life.
I've done things I've never done before, like going up to a stranger in a mall and asking them some personal questions, like if they've ever lied before. It's a little scary, but it was well worth it to see them think about what they believe, and realizing that some people don't know what they believe.
When I first started the GCC, I grew up in the church my whole life. So I got into that habit of going to church every Sunday, coming back. It was no big deal. And so I thought I was a Christian. But then when I went to the GCC, I saw everybody else talk, and like when they'd go to witness, I'd listen to the questions that they'd ask the strangers, and I started looking at my own faith, and I saw that I really wasn't saved. So I think the GCC helped me realize that I really wasn't a Christian.
The GCC has been a new thing for me. It's in a way, it's almost like a speech class in high school, which I never had to take. I am not one who's very outspoken, so it's kind of brought me out of my comfort zone. And it's a fun environment to learn to be a little bit more bold with others.
We started when I was 13. At that time I was shy. I didn't like to talk to anyone I didn't know. And as the several months progressed, I learned how to communicate with people about topics related to Christianity and salvation, which is the only key to heaven.
When I first started the GCC, I considered myself a rather shy person. I would never in my life think of talking to a complete stranger, just having a regular conversation with them. That was very out of my comfort zone. So the GCC, first of all, really helped me get out of my shell, really helped me be more extroverted, definitely, through the speeches, the different activities. It really pushed me to express myself more.
I think I've seen a lot of members that were pretty quiet and a little shy. I've seen a lot of people, they try a little bit more, and next thing you know, somebody who you never thought would witness to anybody is out there witnessing, handing out tracts, just doing a lot more than they thought or anyone else thought they could do.
It's also very fun to see people of all ages, young as well as older, people trying to share their faith with others. It's good seeing, realizing that my kids know what they believe in. Not just following a script.
It's forced them to come out of their comfort zones, all of us to come out of our comfort zones and be prepared for situations where they otherwise might not have been prepared and reluctant of themselves to do it.
A lot of them have, we've learned through our different quirks and our different tendencies. Some are more shy than others. The GCC has drawn us closer, has developed a more spiritual interest between us to help others, and has taught many others as me to learn to discuss to anyone, regardless of what age or size they are, of the gospel.
I think it strengthens us in our faith, and to be able to argue with people about what you believe, and hear their side, and still believe in your side, and try to come up with the best arguments you can. I think that really helps.
Seeing a lot of us together learn to share, and it's really amazing. One of our big events in the year is when we go to the local county fair, and we set up a tent and we give out tracts and evangelize, and it's amazing every year as I look around during one of those, like a really busy time, and there's little groups here, little groups there, and everyone's sharing the good news of Jesus, and people are paying attention, and all of my friends are there sharing the gospel, and it's just really amazing to see the difference we're making in people's lives, and all of that is because of GCC.
Family members, I've seen them really come out of their shell and try to go witness to other people. Even though they may seem scared, they're not really afraid to do it anymore. I think that's really helped them to come out and be able to be comfortable to talk about their faith with people who don't know anything about it.
The biggest impact that I've seen amongst my friends and family is opening the dialogue around God, really enabling us to be comfortable to share with each other the challenges that we've had in sharing with people, the victories that we've had when witnessing, creating events for us to gather together as a group to go and distribute tracts. The fair that we do every year has really brought everyone closer and really started a conversation around our daily walk and how the Great Commission is being filled out in each of our lives.
Sharing the Great Commission and looking for those opportunities have caused people to think and consider things beyond just the here and now or natural things that they may have been focused on.
That's probably been the biggest impact of my life, seeing just my words from the Holy Spirit to others. Throughout the past several years, we've had many encounters with probably several hundred people who have had different religions, different beliefs, different philosophies, many agnostic, many evolutionists, many of different religions that don't see the key as salvation. So as my friends and me and people from the GCC have just spoken to me what salvation is, that is the key to heaven, many have been affected in many ways. I've seen people cry in front of me. People have asked to be saved at that moment. We're in the tent. People have come to me and asking, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? I want to be involved. It's been a huge impact.
When you talk to people, you see that they start to think, and it's a serious matter, and you can tell in their faces when you're talking to them that they're thinking about it, and that it's something that bothers them, and that they're going to take it with them.
I've seen it affect other people. No, I haven't seen anybody be born again through my witnessing, but I have seen, as you share with people in different atmospheres, you can tell it's causing them to think. They're starting to think, about hell, about heaven. Sometimes you can see a little bit of fear in their faces as they start thinking about something that they've never done before, they never thought of before.
I talked to this person that he was very in his own way and world, and so he would just ask really difficult questions, and so I was stumped in some, but I was able to answer like some questions that they actually had asked in GCC. They asked, so I knew how to respond faster, and I think I would never have thought of those answers.
It has some people don't react at all. They're just chill with it. But with some people, you can see that they really start thinking about it, and they really think, oh yeah, maybe I will go to hell. And it's really great to see that, because that's a good sign.
I've been able to share to many people over the past years with the GCC, and it's amazing to be able to see, the little seeds you're able to plant in their hearts, and how it affects them, and how, they might not be convinced at the moment, but they will think about it later. Sometimes when we go tract distributing, you don't realize how you're affecting people, or you don't see the fruits directly. Who knows how many tracts that we've just given out, strangers never see them again, but how many they've affected, how much they've affected other people.
A lot of people who have been affected in that you see that as you're talking to them, you kind of see their faces start to think about things, and hopefully you're hoping that they're taking it home with them and they're not forgetting.
The Great Commission Club has empowered many people to be willing to share to people that have never heard the message of the gospel before. And the biggest response that I've seen is confusion. Confusion by people that are hearing something for the first time, or in a way that makes sense to them for the first time, and all of a sudden realize that everything that they'd believed is wrong. And being very confused about that, but also hungry for more information, hungry for a touch from the Lord, hungry for a revelation, really impacted on what are the next steps, who can they talk to, and really seeing people come to the realization that their way of life is the wrong way of life, and that only through Jesus Christ can they find the hope and the happiness that they're looking for, and ultimately salvation and life through Him in eternity.